Hey, thanks for being a part of the conversation. Let's do some pod crashing. Episode number 243 is with Gabrielle Collins from the Queen Charlotte podcast.
Hi, Arrow. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing fantastic. I got to tell you, Queen Charlotte is the very reason why my town, Charlotte, North Carolina, exists, because it's named in her honor.
That's right.
Oh, we've got that gigantic.
Do you know the story?
Not the full story, but I'm getting a story from you guys. I mean, this is what makes it so incredible, because having a podcast companion now is, to me, you are educating as we grow forward with a story.
Yeah, and less about Queen Charlotte and more about, I think, the people who are bringing the story to life. I love to talk to creatives about how they create, about their craft. So yeah, that's really what we get into.
I love the idea that you're doing that, because so many people go unnoticed and untalked about, because we see those that are on the camera. I get it, and I understand they do their lines, but somebody had to write it, somebody had to direct it, somebody had to carry those big heavy chords. Right. Shout out to gaffers and all of the in between. Like, you're so right. And you get to hear about that camaraderie and that teamwork. They are a really tight knit group. I always have a look in the creative teams, because they're just such a tight knit community, family, really. And I love. So I'm a theater kid, and how, I don't know if you were in theater or in band or anything, but when the show is over and you leave and you're all sad because you had a whole family, I definitely get that vibe with all of them, that they still really stay in touch and continue to share creative ideas. Yeah, I call that post-production blues. And radio people go through that too, because, we all, we fight the fight, we do the promotions together, we go through those deep, dark times, and then all of a sudden your number comes up and your family's gone. And so, I think all creative outlets just have got to, and the thing is that now you have to keep that family alive. And thank God for the internet, because emails do that. Yes. You get me. Yeah, I do. But I want to know how you got on the inside. What's the secret? How I got on in the inside? Yeah, because not everybody's getting close to Tom. I mean, come on. You landed a conversation with Tom. I will just say, Tom Verica is very, very, very generous. I don't know if anyone listening remembers when Scandal was on the air. Mm-hmm. Tom was on Twitter. Okay. He was accessible. He's very generous. And actually, what we learn a lot about Tom on this podcast is that he fosters an environment in which the up and coming cast, those new faces that we're talking about, can thrive. He's an educator on set, and he brings his acting experience and his directing and producing and editing and all of the things experience to that set and to all of those creative meetings. So all I can say is he's extremely generous. And Shondaland, works magic in making people available. But see, that's what I love about so many of these writers and directors nowadays, is because they paid their dues and they didn't forget about those that walked the walk with them when they were totally unknown. And they go, man, you were there for me. And that's one of the reasons why I like talking to these unknown musicians, is because nobody knows them. But yet when they make it, then they're going to go, oh my God, Arrow, do you remember when we had 5 people in that bar that night? And, that's what it's all about to me. It's the growing period. Yes, I agree. Which, and I got to bring it back to Charlotte. I feel I really do love this show. Like, I feel like we're watching, we are in the thick of a growing period. Yes. So we have such good stuff to chew on the podcast. But yeah, I'll have an opportunity to sit down with, I spoke with Shonda Rhimes, and I spoke with executive producer Betsy Beers. And of course, they have been partners in crime for 2 decades.
And so, of course, I wanted to get into that exactly what you're talking about. What's it like working together? When the lights are all away and everyone's gone and you're, sitting in that room together, your sleeves are rolled up, and like, what is that like? Because they are so successful and have accomplished so much, they changed Thursday nights at one point in our recent history. So, hearing what that is like, hearing what makes Betsy a producer's favorite producer is really fascinating to hear.
I keep hearing from so many people about why Bridgerton, why Queen Charlotte. What is it about the global fascination? And of course, my heart is saying because we love royalty. We love that story. Yeah. And you modernize it in a way that says, I can be a part of this. Let me go to the mall and see if I can find some clothing that looks just like this.
Yeah. Some Queen Charlotte core.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'll say that again because my computer just binged some Queen Charlotte core. So I think I'm all about story. Okay, so yes, the royalty, and I thought it was so bomb that the show premiered during the coronation of King Charles.
Yes.
That was so brilliant. I was like, Shondaland, you have blown my mind. You are all so smart. So yes, we love royalty. And then when that kind of wanes, you've got all of this opulence and you're like, okay, my eyes have eaten. I'm stuffed. You're left then with these facial expressions and the stature and physicality of the characters, and all that is said in those moments and all that's not said. I gotta say, for the stuff that's not said, this show is so good. So I think that is what brings people back to it, and has fans really excited about Queen Charlotte because they know it's a prequel. They know it's about Queen Charlotte, and we've all wanted to learn more about Queen Charlotte, and we have that opportunity. It's the story. I think the story just brings people back, and Shondaland brings people back because Shondaland knows how to do a good backstory or a good flashback. So it's like supreme. It's a delicacy. I gotta say. So. I think that's what brings people to Queen Charlotte and back to Bridgerton.
Well, and it's the pacing, too. I mean, because that pacing is so important. You are not rushing me. And I think that's one of the reasons why I like binge watching is because we're not trying to get this thing done in 2 hours and 15 minutes. And so that the pace, so I can get into the character, I can study how they speak. And more importantly, this is what I love about a lot of shows, especially with Queen Charlotte, facial expressions. Because so many people are so cold-faced right now, but man, not on Queen Charlotte.
Whoa, especially in a world where we're all on Zoom.
Yep.
Or like, if I'm not on Zoom, and then if I'm on Zoom, I'm still not giving eye contact. I'm like looking into some obscure corner of my screen. I'm at the grocery store, not looking at people. To be face to face with these expressive faces, I think hits us in ways more now than maybe before. So I agree. I love facial expression. I love facial expression.
Don't you like being on this side of the entertainment industry in the way that, if somebody, and they asked me, do you want to talk with Elton John or his touring manager? And I chose the touring manager because I felt like there's a better story there. And that's what I like about what you're doing with your podcast is that you get to go in and get the story. And it's like, now I watch an episode. Now let's go talk about it.
You totally get me. Yeah. And okay, so I speak with the choreographer.
Yes.
And there's so much, oh my goodness, there's so much history and okay, so just in talking with the choreographer, there are conversations that I learn about during the production of the show and pre-production of the show that, maybe would not have come out. So you're so right. Everyone has a different purview and kind of point of view. So what Jack Murphy, the choreographer, brings to Queen Charlotte and all of the ball scenes, everyone loves the ball scenes.
Yep.
Just brings a gravitas that is it's really magnificent. The history and the choreographer's personal story too that he kind of brings to the show. So you've got to hear that. You've got to listen. You've got to listen to that.
You know what I love about those ball scenes is the fact that I'm also a mobile entertainer, and I keep waiting for another cha-cha slide or some sort of dance to come out of it where people, you know what I mean? I mean, because we see it on Queen Charlotte. I want it at my party. We're going to dance like this because they did it.
That is so funny. Wait, the cha-cha slide. I have to know what region you're from.
I'm down here in the South. Are you not in the cha-cha slide?
My formative years are outside of Chicago. That's where the cha-cha slide originated. So I haven't heard that in a very long time.
What part of Chicago are you from? Because my wife is from Berwyn.
I'm from Naperville.
Oh, her mouth is wide open going, that's her whole entire town. Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, she went to Western Springs.
Berwyn. I always pass the Berwyn stop.
Oh, my God.
Uh-oh.
What a small world, huh?
Yes, it is a small world. Yeah, the Berwyn stop. Always got off at the Berwyn stop. Wait, isn't that where Brookfield Zoo is too?
Yeah.
But that's in Brookfield.
That's in Brookfield. Yeah. So, wow.
That's the Brookfield stop.
Well, see, this
Midwest, what up? Hey.
This explains your story then. This is why you like sharing the story, because you come from that Chicago area, and it's all about getting into the heart and soul of creativity. No matter where you are, there are no fences up anywhere. If you're creative, you're part of this family.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. Man. You're absolutely right. Chicago, growing up in and around Chicago definitely shaped me to want to go into the creative fields, for sure. I mean, I wanted to be an oncologist for a long time, and then a long time meaning like 7th through 9th grade, and then I was like, no, I need to make music. So, yeah. Well, I love Chicago.
Don't you see your podcast as being a stage as well? Because you plan it, you make sure that everybody's in order. You've got to, and then when it comes to the editing process and things, I mean, that's the thing I love about podcasts these days, especially with Queen Charlotte, is the fact that a lot of attention has to go into it. You are not banging anything out.
Absolutely not. We have been working on this since since last year. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of work, lots of moving pieces, lots of people to fit in, and it's also just very not glamorous, you know. I think
it's so true.
I love to pretend, but it is not a glamorous job. But that's why I love it. That's why I'm a producer. I love the dirty work of being a producer, and you know, late nights and early mornings, and really getting to, like Chicago does, getting to the heart and soul of people and why people are doing what they're doing.
So when you sat down with Kelly Valentine, I mean, she's in charge of the cast. I mean, she has her own, sights and sounds. She can hear it in her head, but somehow, some way, she's got to be able to bring that out into a circle.
Yeah. Oh, man. So on the podcast, Kelly Valentine Hendry, the casting director, she actually tells her casting secrets. She's got like 2 things that she does for all you people out there who are sending in your TikTok auditions. She looks for 2 things. She listens. Oh, that's one of the things. You have to listen to the podcast to hear. But her process, I get into a lot of everyone's process.
Yeah, that's okay.
And yeah, her process is really, really interesting. And the moment she knows when someone is that character that we currently see is fascinating. Just the way it clicks for her.
Yeah.
And then when you hear what she says, and then you think about what you see and hear in the show, you're like, oh, well, yeah. And you might think you can be a casting director as well, because it's just like, of course. So she's amazing. She's amazing. And she also talks a lot about representation across age and gender and race and orientation. She's just such a brilliant person. She her casting actually, I mean, she comes in really, really early in the process, but it's such an important part of the puzzle. Our conversation is pretty great. She makes an appearance in every episode and talks about. I could not have her say something in every single episode.
Oh, I always call that the anchor story. You got to have something like that because people will tune in just to hear what she has to say. Yeah.
She's got some really good stuff. She really does.
Wow. I'm very proud of you with this podcast because you are taking it to the next level. There, I grew up in the age when the only thing we had was Reader's Digest, and that was just a few paragraphs. And so you really do bring out, what we're watching and the lifestyle and how we dream and we fantasize about, places such as Queen Charlotte.
That is such good feedback because, I think to myself, there's so many YouTube videos and, everyone has their own social media account. But thank you for bringing that up because there is a huge population of people that, the TV Guide was the jam.
That's it.
So like this is yeah, I remember the TV Guide. Yeah. So that's really inspiring. Thank you for that.
Well, you've got to come back to this show anytime in the future because the door is always, always, always going to be open for you.
Please. Yes. Welcome me. I'm there. Honestly. Seriously.
Oh, I love it. Well, you be brilliant today, okay?
You too. And please visit the Midwest. Go back to Berwyn, Naperville, hang out, get some Garrett's.
That's right. Or what did she
go downtown Naperville.
She does what's the beef you do, Lee?
Novi's.
Oh, Novi's beef. So, and you have to have the beef wet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you got to.
Yes. Dipped.
That's it.
I don't know if the last time you had Portillo's, but it's not the same, but it's still good. So, but yeah.
Make a note of that.
Yes.
Well, you be brilliant today, okay?
You too. Take care, both of you.